The rain pounded against the window like accusations as 14-year-old Clara Harper stood frozen in her family's living room in suburban Chicago, her heart racing from the kiss she'd shared with her best friend, Jamie, just moments before her parents walked in. "You're disgusting," her father spat, his face twisted in rage, grabbing her arm and dragging her toward the door while her mother sobbed hysterically, clutching a Bible like a shield. By midnight, Clara was thrust out into the storm with nothing but a backpack, the door slamming shut behind her, locking away the only home she'd ever known. She wandered the slick streets, the cold seeping into her bones, her mind reeling from the betrayal. How could love feel so wrong to them? Jamie had texted her apologies, but Clara couldn't respond. Her phone was dead, and so was the naive hope that her parents would come around. She found shelter under a bridge, huddling with other runaways, their stories a grim chorus of rejection. Days blurred into survival mode, begging for change, dodging creeps in the alleys, and suppressing the ache in her chest every time she thought of her little sister, Lily, who had watched the scene unfold with wide, confused eyes. As weeks turned to months, Clara hitched rides south to warmer climates, ending up in Atlanta, where she crashed at a youth shelter run by a no-nonsense counselor named Ms. Rivera. "You're not broken, kid," Ms. Rivera said, her voice firm yet kind, enrolling Clara in school and connecting her to LGBTQ support groups. There Clara met others like her, girls who had been disowned, beaten down by society's glare. But they were fighting back, sharing tales of resilience that ignited a spark in her. She started journaling her thoughts, the pages filling with raw anger toward her parents' religious fervor and the societal norms that branded her an outcast. School became her anchor. Clara threw herself into studies, excelling in math and science, dreaming of a future where she controlled her destiny. But nights were haunted by flashbacks, her father's belt from past corrections, her mother's prayers for her soul. The internal conflict raged. Part of her yearned for forgiveness, to believe they acted out of misguided love, while another part seethed with resentment. She made her first tough choice, cutting off all contact, changing her last name to Hayes in a symbolic rebirth, vowing never to look back. In the shelter's group sessions, Clara opened up about the kiss that shattered her world. "It was just a moment of truth," she confessed, tears streaming. The facilitator nodded, emphasizing that coming out wasn't a choice, but surviving was. Clara befriended Taylor, a 16-year-old trans girl facing similar exile, and they became inseparable, plotting escapes from their pasts. But when Taylor relapsed into self-harm under the pressure, Clara had to intervene, calling for help and watching as her friend was hospitalized. The incident shook her. Was vulnerability worth the risk? By her 16th birthday, Clara had a part-time job at a coffee shop, saving every penny for independence. Her boss, a lesbian woman in her 40s named Carla, recognized the fire in her eyes. "You've got potential, kid. Don't let them dim it." Carla mentored her, teaching business basics and introducing her to networks of queer professionals. Clara's grades soared, earning scholarships, but the societal whispers followed. Classmates' slurs, teachers' pitying looks. She debated confronting her pain publicly but chose silence, focusing on building walls instead. The turning point came during a school debate on gay rights. Clara argued passionately against conversion therapy, her voice cracking as she drew from personal hell. The applause was thunderous, but so was the backlash, a petition from conservative parents to silence propaganda. It forced her to question. Fight openly and risk more loss, or hide and survive. She chose to fight, joining activism clubs, but the exhaustion mounted. Each rally drained her, reminding her of the family she lost. As she approached 18, Clara secured a full ride to college in New York, majoring in business. Packing her few belongings, she glanced at an old photo of her family, the one she'd salvaged from the trash. "Why couldn't you love me?" she whispered, tucking it away. The move east was a leap into uncertainty, but it promised reinvention. Little did she know the seeds of revenge or redemption were already sprouting in her determined heart. New York City hit Clara like a whirlwind, the skyscrapers mirroring her ambitions as she stepped onto the NYU campus, her backpack heavier with dreams than possessions. The dorm room felt like freedom, but the first night alone triggered a panic attack. Memories of that rainy Chicago eviction flooding back. She called Ms. Rivera, who reminded her, "You're not starting over. You're building on what you've survived." Classes challenged her intellect, but the social scene tested her soul. She met Sophia, a confident sophomore from a liberal family, whose easy acceptance of her sexuality made Clara's heart flutter. Their first date was a walk in Central Park, hands brushing tentatively, but Clara pulled back, haunted by the fear of another betrayal. "I've been burned before," she admitted over coffee. Sophia listened, sharing her own coming-out story, which was met with hugs, not hatred. It was a stark contrast, stirring envy and hope in Clara. As their relationship deepened, Clara grappled with intimacy's vulnerabilities. Sophia pushed for openness, but Clara's walls were fortress thick. A fight erupted when Sophia suggested reaching out to Clara's family. "They threw you away like trash. But holding on to hate is poisoning you." Clara stormed out, wandering the streets, weighing the moral dilemma. Forgive to heal or remember to protect herself. She chose a middle ground, confiding more in Sophia, but the tension simmered. Professionally, Clara interned at a startup, her sharp mind catching the eye of CEO Elena Vargas, a powerhouse lesbian in tech. Elena became a mentor, offering opportunities but demanding excellence. "Success isn't revenge, it's proof they were wrong," Elena advised. Clara poured herself into projects, rising quickly, but the long hours strained her bond with Sophia. When Sophia accused her of prioritizing work over love, Clara snapped, "Work is what keeps me from ending up on the streets again." The breakup was brutal. Sophia left, citing Clara's unresolved trauma as the barrier. Alone again, Clara dove deeper into her career, graduating top of her class and landing a job at a venture firm. But success came at a cost, sleepless nights questioning if ambition was just avoidance. She attended therapy, unpacking layers of abandonment, realizing her parents' actions stemmed from their own fears, yet that didn't absolve them. News from Chicago trickled in via social media. Her father had a heart attack, her mother was struggling financially, and Lily was in college posting about family values. Clara felt a pull. Should she help anonymously, or let them reap what they sowed? The ethical quandary gnawed at her. She sent money through a third party, but it felt like a betrayal of her younger self. At 22, Clara started her own consulting firm, specializing in LGBTQ-friendly businesses. It boomed, attracting clients who valued her perspective. She met Riley, a journalist covering social issues, whose passion matched her own. Their connection was electric, built on shared activism. But when Riley proposed a story on Clara's past, she hesitated. "Exposing it could empower others, but it reopens my wounds." Riley pressed, arguing visibility matters. Clara agreed, but the article's publication brought backlash. Hate mail from conservatives, praise from allies. The exposure led to a surprising contact. Lily messaged her, "I miss you. Mom and Dad were wrong." The reunion was tentative, over video call, tears flowing as Lily apologized for not speaking up. But when Lily asked about returning home, Clara balked. "They haven't changed." It sparked internal turmoil. Was reconciliation possible without their remorse? As her firm grew, Clara faced a major deal. Acquiring a company tied to her father's old employer, a conservative conglomerate. The irony burned. Signing the papers, she felt a rush of power, but also guilt. Was this justice or vengeance? The decision weighed heavy, setting the stage for confrontations ahead. By 24, Clara's firm had expanded to San Francisco, her net worth climbing into millions, but the void from her fractured family persisted. Riley noticed her distractions, urging therapy sessions where Clara confronted the moral ambiguity of her success. Am I thriving to prove them wrong, or to fill the hole they left? The therapist probed deeper, revealing how societal homophobia had internalized shame in her. A business trip back to Chicago forced the issue. Staying anonymous, Clara visited her old neighborhood, heart pounding as she drove past the family home. It looked smaller, weathered. She spotted her mother in the garden, aged beyond years, and a surge of pity mixed with anger. Should she approach? The choice haunted her. Confrontation could heal or destroy. Back in SF, Riley proposed marriage, a joyous moment tainted by Clara's hesitation. I want this, but my past. It makes me question if I'm capable of forever. Riley understood, but the doubt lingered. They planned a small ceremony, inviting queer friends who had become her chosen family. Yet, on the eve, Clara dreamed of her parents' rejection, waking in sweat. The wedding was beautiful, under golden California sun, vows exchanged with tears. But post-honeymoon reality crashed. Lily called, frantic. Dad's company is failing. They're losing the house. Clara's acquisition had indirectly contributed, as her firm's innovations outpaced competitors. Guilt clawed at her. Was this unintended consequence or subconscious sabotage? She debated intervening. Riley advised caution. Helping them without accountability enables their bigotry. But Lily pleaded, revealing their parents' slow shift. Attending a PFLG meeting after the heart attack. Clara's internal conflict peaked. Forgive conditionally, or let fate decide. She wired funds for the mortgage anonymously, but attached a note via Lily. Love isn't conditional. The gesture backfired. Her father discovered it, calling her for the first time in a decade. We don't need your dirty money, he growled, hanging up. The rejection stung anew, fueling Clara's resolve to expand her empire. She launched a nonprofit for queer youth, channeling pain into purpose, but the societal battles raged. Anti-LGBTQ legislation in states, protests turning violent. At a rally, Clara spoke publicly, her story resonating. But a counter-protester hurled slurs, echoing her father's words. It triggered a breakdown. She confided in Riley. Sometimes I wonder if they're right, if I'm the problem. Riley held her, reminding her of her strength. The moment solidified their bond, but Clara's choices grew bolder. A major betrayal loomed. A business partner, closeted and conservative, leaked her personal history to sabotage a deal. The fallout was swift. Clients pulled out, citing controversy. Clara fought back, suing for defamation, but the damage exposed her vulnerabilities. Why hide who I am? She realized, pivoting to embrace her identity and branding. Recovery was grueling, testing her marriage. Riley stood by, but arguments flared over Clara's workaholism. You're sacrificing us for this fight. The moral crossroads. Balance love and legacy? She chose to delegate, prioritizing home, but the empire's demands pulled relentlessly. As 25 approached, whispers of her parents' bankruptcy reached her. Lily begged for a meeting. Clara agreed, heart in throat, setting the stage for raw confrontations. The Chicago airport buzzed with indifference as Clara landed. Her stomach knotted at the prospect of facing Lily in person after 10 years. They met at a neutral cafe, hugs tentative, tears immediate. You've changed so much, Lily whispered, admiration in her eyes. Over coffee, Lily unpacked the family's unraveling. Father's stubborn pride leading to financial ruin. Mother's quiet regrets manifesting in volunteer work at a shelter. Clara listened, her own story spilling out. The homelessness, the heartbreaks, the triumphs. I built everything from nothing because of what they did. Lily nodded, admitting she had come out as bi, facing milder resistance but crediting Clara's absence as a wake-up for their parents. The revelation stirred mixed emotions. Pride in Lily's courage, jealousy over her softer landing. But the real test came when Lily asked Clara to meet their parents. They're not the same. Dad softened. Mom prays for forgiveness now. Clara's internal storm raged. Could she risk more pain for potential closure? Riley on speakerphone cautioned. Protect your heart. Yet curiosity and a sliver of hope won. She agreed to dinner at the family home. Walking up the familiar path, Clara's knees weakened. Her mother opened the door, face lined with sorrow, pulling her into a hug. My baby, she sobbed. Father stood rigid in the living room, avoiding eye contact. Dinner was awkward. Small talk skirting the elephant. Then father cleared his throat. We were wrong. Fear blinded us. Clara's response was measured. Wrong doesn't erase the streets I slept on. The trust one lost. The confrontation escalated. Mother defended their faith. Clara challenged its hypocrisy. Love thy neighbor unless they're gay? Father admitted societal pressure influenced him, but stopped short of full accountability. The evening ended in stalemate. Clara leaving with unresolved anger. Back in SF, the encounter haunted her. Riley noticed her withdrawal leading to a fight. "You're letting them back in to hurt you again," Clara countered. Maybe forgiveness is strength. The moral ambiguity tore at her. Was holding grudges weakness or self-preservation? Professionally, a golden opportunity arose, buying out her father's failing company. The deal was poetic justice but ethical minefield. Lily warned it would destroy them. Riley urged restraint. Clara agonized, weighing revenge against mercy. She proceeded, but with a twist, restructuring to save jobs, including her father's. The acquisition announcement hit like a bomb. Father called furious. "You're rubbing it in our faces." Clara replied calmly, "I'm offering a lifeline on my terms." The power shift exposed betrayals. Old colleagues revealed father's past homophobic rants. It fueled Clara's determination but deepened her isolation. Lily felt torn, accusing Clara of overreach. This isn't healing, it's domination. The sibling rift widened, forcing Clara to question her motives. Was success tainted by vendetta? As tensions mounted, a health scare struck. Clara collapsed from stress, hospitalized briefly. Riley's ultimatum: "Choose us over this war." The wake-up call prompted reflection. Had her choices cost too much? Recovered but reflective, Clara scaled back, delegating the company integration to focus on her marriage. Riley appreciated the shift, their bond strengthening through couples therapy, where Clara unpacked the cycle of trauma. "I don't want to become the monster they made me fear." The sessions revealed how societal norms had warped her self-worth, pushing her toward overcompensation. News from Chicago. The family accepted the buyout, father retiring with dignity, mother attending pride events tentatively. Lily bridged the gap, sharing photos of family therapy. Clara felt a thaw, but trust was fragile. She visited again, this time with Riley, introducing her wife to wary parents. The meeting was charged. Father shook Riley's hand stiffly. Mother asked genuine questions about their life. Over wine, truths emerged. Father confessed, "I was scared you'd end up alone like the stories I heard." Clara challenged, "You made me alone." The dialogue was raw, exposing generational divides and societal conditioning. Mother admitted reading books on LGBTQ issues, her evolution slow but sincere. Yet, when father slipped into old rhetoric, Clara pushed back. "Change or lose us both." The visit ended on tentative hope, but betrayal lurked. Lily confided privately. Parents had initially planned to contest the buyout legally, backing off only when finances dire. The revelation stung. Were their apologies strategic? Clara confronted them, leading to father's breakdown. "We were desperate." The honesty cracked walls, but Clara's guard remained. Back home, Clara's nonprofit flourished, advocating against family rejection. She testified in Congress, her story influencing policy. But personal costs mounted. Media scrutiny invaded privacy, straining Riley. A tabloid twisted her past, labeling her vengeful heiress. Riley defended her publicly but privately questioned, "Is the fight worth our peace?" The climax built. A family crisis, mother's cancer diagnosis. Lily begged Clara for support. Clara flew in, paying medical bills but demanded accountability. No more half measures. Father broke, attending a support group with her, sharing his regrets. The vulnerability humanized him, forcing Clara to weigh forgiveness's price. As treatment progressed, bonds mended unevenly. Clara and Lily grew closer, but father's progress faltered under stress. A heated argument erupted. "You think money fixes everything?" Clara retorted. "It fixed what you broke." The exchange highlighted the ongoing moral struggle, reparation versus resentment. Riley joined for the holidays, the first family gathering in years. Tensions simmered but moments of warmth emerged. Mother's hug, father's awkward toast. Yet, Clara pondered the trade-offs. Had reclaiming power healed or hardened her? With mother's remission, the family dynamic stabilized, but Clara's empire demanded her return to SF. She left with promises of visits, her heart lighter yet cautious. Riley noted the change. "You're not fighting ghosts anymore." Therapy continued, helping Clara integrate her past without letting it define her. Professionally, she sold part of the company, donating proceeds to queer causes, prioritizing balance. The decision freed her, but societal battles persisted. New laws threatening rights. Clara channeled energy into advocacy, speaking at events, her story inspiring thousands. Yet, each victory reminded her of losses. Friendship strained, health scares, the emotional toll. A final confrontation loomed when father visited SF unannounced. Over dinner, he apologized fully. "I failed as a parent. Society fed me lies, but that's no excuse." Tears flowed as Clara shared her journey's scars. "I survived despite you." The moment was cathartic, bridging divides, but Clara set boundaries. Acceptance means action, not words. Lily's wedding invitation arrived, symbolizing progress, a queer-inclusive ceremony. Clara attended as maid of honor, Riley by her side. Seeing her parents embrace Lily's partner, a woman stirred complex emotions, joy mixed with sorrow for her own lost youth. As years passed, now 24 turning 25, wait, 10 years from 14 is 24. The narrative corrects to her at 24, reflecting on a decade. Success secured, family mended imperfectly, Clara pondered the costs. Isolation endured, love's tested, morals bent. Had the pain forged her, or could she have thrived without it? In quiet moments she journaled, questioning the ethics of her path. Forgiving bigots, does it empower or enable? The answer eluded her, but growth prevailed. Yet, as she held the keys to her expanded empire, including the family home she'd anonymously bought to save from foreclosure, Clara faced the ultimate reflection. In reclaiming what was taken, had she become the architect of her own chains, or truly set free? But in the end, when society demands conformity at the expense of authenticity, is forgiveness a virtue or a surrender?